Welcome to ONLYCANS Thirst Date. Click here to experience cans.
All right, so welcome to the story of the Schneis Corporation, or the Schneis brand, I would say, or the family of the in-game thing, OnlyCans. One simplest thing, I honestly thought it was just a joke game where it's just, an OnlyFans fucking pun. It's that, and also a graphical horror about the Schneis family. As you can see, the first Schneis was built in 1744. An old family did all the stuff and became a most popular brand in the world. And there's different characters that will pop up throughout the story, and the story is told through all the text of each can. Each can here, you see the first, the Schneis original, tells the story of how the company was founded. And then throughout, every other flavor of soda has a story about who and what the Schneis family has happened, stories that happens throughout time, throughout I believe the main story happens between 2012 and 19, actually. So not really that long. It was a few years. But so three there's three main characters in the story. You've got Schneis, you got Schneis John, you got John Schneis the third. You've got Schnees, a Russian company that is a bootleg version of the Schneis brand, who makes more weird shit. And then you've got John. Then you got John Schneis the fourth, the son of Schneis the third, who right here will show what they look like. They don't really say what the fuck they look like, so you have some image. Here are some images of what I believe they look like. First, here is John Schneis the third. John Schneis the third was a eccentric man. Basically, he just kind of fucked off for a while and then came back to the company to bring a resurgence of new flavors, new designs, anniversary cans for his son, John Schneis the fourth. The was supposed to be the heir to the Schneis company, the heir to the entire corporation that the family built. But he died in 2012, which basically made Schneis the second, Schneis the third, I believe, lose his fucking mind because it was his child, of course. And then there will be some time period between them that some more weird shit starts happening that I will continue to talk about. And John Schneis is such a fucking weird man in the story because, one, this game is a fucking fever dream of stuff. Honestly, I didn't believe when I streamed this, and I honestly thought I couldn't stream it because I didn't know if it would be restricted for basically sound like porn, because it just sounds like people moaning and grunting like the entire time. And I'll show a clip of what that sounds like and looks like in a bit. And like, it is a fucking fever dream of how much weird shit just keeps happening in the story. And John Schneis the third, the company founded 1744. The company has so many different flavors that go from simple and classics to more outlandish and crazy designs, to flavors of light edition that was made for the anniversary of John Schneis the fourth. It was in honor of his son, his late son. So I'm piecing together he dies around the 12th because it says late son during that before the fourth, but it's for the family's dynasty a flavor to be more light, energy, and flavor. And as you see, it gives you more of a detailed story about what the cans like. As the light, it loves flying, clouds, yoga, the wind, extreme sports, hates smoking, the darkness, the ground, and falling parachutes. So I think that the falling parachutes, I think, so the light is an example of what his son loved to do. I think that's what it's saying. As it's saying, he loves to fly, clouds, he loves yoga, the wind, and extreme sports, and hates smoking, because that means he probably didn't smoke. The darkness, the ground, and failing parachutes is obvious that must mean his son died in a extreme sports thing. Maybe the parachute failed and he hit the ground. But then there's different flavors. You got cherry pop, which is made in the 90s, and it's fucking obvious. I understand what that is. I'll put a clip of my stream that shows my live reaction of what cherry pop happens, which is the funniest fucking shit in the world. But it goes throughout an entire thing. The story of this game is immense and strange because it's a fucking can. It's a fucking strange can game. All right, next I'll show you the things of more of the John family. I mean the Schneis Corporation. All right, now we're going to talk about another part of the story, which is another company called Schnees or Schne. So they don't Schneis, this Schnees, a Russian brand bootleg company that basically wanted to ride on the backtails of the success of the Schneis brand, the Schnees brand, Schneis. I don't fucking know pronounce those. So ride the bootlegs of the great success. So what they did was they first started off with their brand or two flavors. The first two flavors that made them successful in the Eastern European blocks. So technically, I think they're supposed to be a Soviet company, but they just say Russian. So I didn't really pay attention to that until when I made the little character you'll see right now, of what I believe the Russian company Schneis mascot person looks like. And yeah, you just look at it, see his little fucking vodka bottle. But so this entire company is basically a bootleg version whose main purpose and goal is to make more weird shit in general. So Schnee's brand is basically on the bootlegs of making everything flavorful, happy, and satisfying for the customers. The Schnee's brand of the Russians is basically just to make everything that just fucking sucks or weird shit. As they have canned shy, which is it's not dry. So shut up, copyright. Then they also got flavors called the beet soda, which is basically a beet flavored stew thing, which is just so fucking weird. The beet flavor was popular, and then they made the Canada Shy, and then later on they actually bought out. They bought and acquired or bought out Schnee's brand because after John left and just fucked off after his son died, or not even before that, actually before that, the brand was bought in the 2000s from the 90s to 2000s, and like when John returned in 2012 after his son died, he basically just the brand was during basically the 90s and 2000s. The company kept the official Schnee's brand, started making so much weird fucking sodas out there. They had flavors that didn't make sense. They had jelly beans, cheeky biddle pun. They had mustard, mayonnaise, beet stew, of course, 4 cheese, which actually did really well for some fucking reason because people like cheese, and they didn't think it would work. Tangy ketchup, the one that actually got a decent amount of stuff, but also people didn't somehow liked because it was mixed. Pineapple pizza soda, because they kept making everything that was flavor. The company also tried to, near the end of their life, after the Russian company was basically losing so much money because the company's stocks were going to complete shit. They tried to make a high protein trend drink that would make sure that they would be super successful to get on a health kick of everyone else. But the problem was they're Russian and they're trying to translate to the American and European audience. Translation fucked up, and they just sold a can full of raw meat juice or raw meat flavoring protein stuff, which basically no one wanted to drink because why the fuck would you want to drink something that has raw meat in the name? And it just went weirder there. But the Schneis company just went basically to shit, and then good old John Schneis came back. The good old number 3 came back to solve and bring unification to the company. And then you'll see right now, you're going to see what happened when he came back. Why was he gone for so long? You'll find out right now. So as John came back and made a resurgence in the company after kicking out and basically, buying out or something, some shenanigans, buying out this entire Russian thing again, so it's all owned by the Schneis family again, technically. So why was he gone? Well, he was adventuring the world, learning new things, helping show brands and awareness about the Schneis traditions and stuff. Also learning and doing more strange and questionable things, like getting help from ancient artifacts from an Egyptian man for something. And then later on, just buying out and starting making LLCs and like smaller companies of a fishing industry, subonautics, aqua research, and research to do more shit in the oceans for artifacts and ancient civilizations. Because yes, a deranged man who lost his son disappears and does a bunch of other shit. Makes sense. So yeah, explore the oceans, be some crazy rich man. But then it is also shown that why he was what he was doing and stuff. So John started doing more and more weird shit, and people didn't really pay attention to him for a while until near the end, where a bunch of the shareholders started noticing all the money, factories, and a lot of shit was basically being sold off by John in secret. And thinking, why was he selling this shit? Why was he doing this? The shareholders didn't fucking know until it found out. And the shareholders needed to do something, so they had to go to their old factories in Russia and make a drink, which was basically rust flavored drink. And yeah, it didn't go well because it was rust. That's fucking disgusting. But good old Johnny boy finally showed what his work went to. A long life that spent decades, his life, and more and more time to do something that the true legacy of the Schneis family can have, something that his son can share in, something his son's life can be in part of. John made something that is truly terrifying and makes you question what the fuck these people were smoking. But you'll find out right now and see what John's legacy of the Schneis brand that he would share with his son, John Schneis the Fourth.
Is that you, Father? Father, you've made me. The flesh and the can are one. I feel my insides fizz.